Hello everyone, Lady Rose here with you today. This is, I'm working with one of my new toys, the camera above here, right here. So hopefully I'm getting the right angles and you guys can see a lot more sort of action than you have before. I'm just adjusting the light a little bit so that it's not quite so reflective here. So yes, thank you for bearing with me through some of these bumps that we're going to have. This is actually the third time that I've started this video because I was still trying to figure out where to be for the camera and which way I wanted the camera and all that kind of stuff. But the thing I love about this is that you'll be able to see more of the workspace. So I'll be able to demonstrate a lot of these things for you a little bit more. So what we're doing today is some hidden pockets, and I've got some made up here already, but I'm going to take us through how to make these. These are very cool because you can use them in a number of different ways. But first, I'm actually going to open one of them up. This is a little bit easier to see some of them, but I'll open them all up for you as well. So it just undoes like that. Super easy to make these and put these in, so don't stress about that. It opens up like this. Ta-da! And there's a pocket here, and there's a pocket here, and there's a pocket here, and a pocket here. Now this one is fairly freshly glued, so I'm not going to try and put any cards into this one, but you could put journal cards or tags or whatever, little treasures you want to hide in here for the person that you're making the junk journal for, or to keep your own little secrets. Tie this back up. And then the way that you can put these into your journal is you can actually tuck this into a tuck spot, or you could tuck it into a pocket. If you've made a bigger pocket or something, you could glue the back of this. Of course, you wouldn't want the string on the back, but you could glue it in if you wanted to, instead of having this string independent, and then it would just open up like this in your journal, or you could glue it in sideways and it would open up like this. Or the other thing is, because these are sort of little surprise pockets and whatnot that you can stuff full of, journal cards or tags or whatever, they make a cute little gift just on their own. So you could give this like in a birthday card or something like that, a surprise gift for your friend or whatever you might want to do. So these are a lot of fun to make, and they're fairly easy as well. I'll show the inside of some of these other ones too. And I'll tell you the tools here. So I use some music cards here for the little pockets inside, and then there's a pocket here and a pocket here, obviously. There we go. So there's a pocket there. And again, thank you for being patient, because I'm getting used to how to operate with this camera. And, this one, let's open this one up and see what's inside this one. So this one I used book pages as the little pockets. Now this one here will only take a small wee little sort of ticket almost, as opposed to like a tag or a journal card. So you could use book pages as well as some of your pockets. Use those up. You could use scraps if you wanted to. And then this one here, just show you what's inside. So this one I embellished with some quotes and stuff like that. I have this huge book of poetry, and so I've been taking little snippets out of there for these kind of things, so that add a little poetry to our lives, right? Nothing wrong with that. Okay, so let's get started. So some of the tools you're going to have. Obviously, you're going to need a pair of scissors. Always need scissors. You're going to need, you'll probably want some distresser or ager kind of stuff. This is Tim Holtz. It's Vintage Photo, one of his most popular brands. It's always being used all the time by other junk journalists. And I've got a glue stick. I like the small ones for the inside pockets. I do tend to use a glue for when I'm gluing down the paper. You're going to need paper, usually about this size. However, my more steampunky one, I did do a bigger size. I've got an example here. So there's a bigger size too. So you can do it, and you can go smaller too if you wanted to. With these bigger ones, I cut it because it's got 3 rings on it for 3-ring binder. So I cut that off of the steampunk more key type one. But see, that's the difference in the size of the paper, because once this is cut off, it's not quite as much as, like, it's not ginormous comparatively speaking. So you want one of these sheets. You're going to need one of these for the main part, and then you're going to want some inside paper, because this part here is inside paper. You have to glue that in separately. So I'll show you what I mean in just a second as we get going. And now these tools aren't necessary, but I like them. So I have my corner puncher. So what that does is it's the thing that makes the corners rounded, and they're universally rounded. So, you know, you can do it with scissors as well. Just kind of get in the practice of how to do it. But this thing, you just put the corner in and pop it, and it's done. And then this one as well. Now you can cut your little Brad's circles. Where did I put the circles? Here's the circles. So here's some example of circles, right? So where's my little piece of paper that I was using? Well, I'll use this one because this is where I took the steampunk one out, right? So you can just pop that in there. Boom, it cuts you one of these little handy dandy circles to go with these other circles. So you'll want some of these because they help reinforce these brads, as they're called. So these are little fasteners for paper, and you'll see how they're used in a minute. That's what makes these very easy. You'll need some kind of pokey device as well. I've got my awl, and this is one of the best tools you'll ever buy. It is amazing. I love it. I mean, if you're making junk journals on a regular, you want one of these, because this helps so much as far as, you know, getting your sewing lined up so that it's consistent and you're not having to break through the paper with the needle. This thing will just break through everything and almost anything for you. I'm not sharpening it. I'm just scraping it, because I also use it as a glue opener, or if the glue is congealed on the top, press it through and it goes, it will break through any stop that you've got, any blockage that you've got. And then of course the bone ruler, or the bone smoother. So I'll put links to all of these down below. If you make a purchase, it does help me, and I do get some like a very small percentage, but it does help. So, you know, every little bit helps. And then you'll also want some kind of string. I've got twine here. I've got some purple twine as well. You can use ribbon if you want to. You can use yarn, whatever tickles your fancy. Make it your own. Do whatever you like there as far as all that stuff is concerned. So now let's get, and I do have some music paper as well. You can use this for the inside part if you want to. So there's music sheets here if I want it, but I also have this. So I was thinking I might use this, and I was thinking I might make another one sort of like this one. So we'll take all these, and I have to cut the edges here because this is a border and we don't want the border. So we'll just cut that off very quickly. And while I'm cutting that off, I will remind you that every Monday we go live on our YouTube channel, and we're doing every week on Mondays, we do an astrology forecast, what's coming up in the skies, what kind of energies are coming up, how to work with them, so that, you know, you're taking the best advantage of the energy in the air and not getting too flustered or thrown off your path or whatever because of some of the energies that are in the air. So please join us, because we also do, by donation, 3-card readings. I'm not going to cut this yet because I'm going to actually need to slim it down a lot for the inside. So I'm just going to put it to the side while we work on this. So we do 3-card draws, readings for anybody that donates. So you can make a donation. We'll put it down below in the description if you're interested in having a reading done live on our Mystic Monday. So what you want to do is you actually want to put this in half. You don't want to fold it. You just want to crease the ends, because these are really just measurements for you. And then what you're going to do is you're going to fold this just over half, just over the halfway mark. And then this is going to fold on this side just over the halfway mark. And this is the beginning of your hidden pockets. And I really like these because they just look like, oh, there's little booklets or something fun is inside. And then you open them up and there's the surprise of the 4 pockets full of things. Of course, they're full of things once you give them to the person. So now you've got, this is your center one. This is one crease and another crease. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this corner and fold it down to the first line. You're going to do the same thing with this corner, and then the same thing with these other 2 corners over here. So I try not to go too fast. You're welcome to watch this once through, just see how I do it, and then watch it again as you craft, because you can then get your tools all set and ready to go and all that kind of good stuff. So now I'm going to take the glue stick and I'm just going to glue these corners down. Nice and easy. Boop, boop, boop. I actually use the glue stick, if I'm going to be honest. I use the glue stick a lot on these as opposed to the glue. The glue doesn't go fast enough for me. So glue sticks are just as good. And these are Elmer's Craft Bond ones. You can actually get a subscription through Amazon so that a pack of them show up every month. Is this my other craft one? There's a bigger one that I have. Oh, here it is. So it comes with this, and it comes with this Craft Bond glue. And it comes with, there's a couple other ones. Oh, it's a pen as well. There's a pen. So this is nice because this is like a glue stick, right? So it's really nice if you're doing small little wee things and you don't want to get glue like everywhere. And because it's the Craft Bond stuff, it does stick quite nicely, quite well. And you can count on it to stay. It's not the school glue that often comes with the glue sticks. I think there's another kind of glue that comes with it, but I can't remember what it is. But anyways, so there's like 4 or 5 pieces in the glue thing that come every month. So I go through them enough that, yes, I have the subscription, and it's like a little under $15 or something. I'll put the link below if you're interested in subscribing, or you can just buy the package just as it is and see how you like it, and then decide if you want to subscribe to it. So we're going to fold these down again, make sure they're all in order, and then we're just going to glue this together. Oh, hang on. I almost forgot. What you want to do is you want to fold this in half as well. So fold this in half. There we go. The bone folder is so great for making your folds super, super sharp. So what you're going to do is you're going to put a little glue here, maybe even a little here, just to make sure it adheres nicely. You're going to put this one down, okay? And then you're going to glue here. And you're going to put this one down. And I almost always have some kind of a wipe. Usually it's a baby wipe, but today it's Kleenex. Just to wipe away any extra glue that comes up, because it's always coming up. Learn to love glue on your hands and life will become much easier if you're junk journaling. So we've got our fold and we've got our main pockets made here. So what I like to do now is I usually like to cut these corners like this. Well, I'm not cutting them, I'm rounding them. There we go. Because if you try to do it when it's all glued together, it doesn't quite work. A lot of the times the cutter can't get through it. This one's just a little on the rough side, so I'm just gonna, there we go, that's better. It's a little smoother anyways. So there we go. So now we're gonna use this paper on the inside to cover this. Now I know it seems like, well, why would you do that? You can just do this. Well, you need one side at least covered because you need it for the flap. The other side, it's nice to be covered because then it creates a consistency and a balance. And then also too, it sort of reinforces the paper a little bit. So it's a little bit stronger. So I'll cut this off. Well, I'm cutting this because I know watching people cut paper is the most boring thing on the planet. And I'm like, I try to get everything ready, but you know, there's always times when it's like, oh, not quite what I expected. I have to do this kind of part. So also on Mystic Mondays, there's a new feature I'm going to be adding. I'm going to be doing sort of a book of the week kind of thing and going through, or at least, once in a while I'll do a book sort of review during Mystic Monday because I get asked all the time, because I have a very magical life, about magic and how to work it into your life. And so I've decided I'm going to, because I have a ridiculously large library. I have like 600 books plus, and it's still growing. And yes, I have read most of them, which is also crazy. So we're going to just measure here. So I'm not like an exact kind of measurer. I just like, let's ballpark it around here. So I know which line. Won't is the word I'm looking at here. It's just above won't or want or something. Not sure what the word is. It's been cut off, and that's okay. And then I try and cut as straight as I can, which seems to always be a challenge for me. That's the reason I never became a hairstylist. I'm like, you don't want me being your hairstylist unless you want asymmetrical hair, because that I can do. It's the other stuff that I'm not so good at. So this can go on the inside. So we're going to double this up to create that flap. Okay. But so on the other side, we're going to, see, I didn't quite get it. I was thinking it looked a little fat on this end. All right. We're going to just do this, hopefully till it gets straight again. There we go. Okay. Nope, still too big. Oh dear. Okay. We're going to cut this little piece off because this looks like it's cutting out a little bit because I don't want to lose all that music. I love the music. Okay, so here we go. Get this in. Put it down a fair ways. You don't have to go all the way down, just a little bit of a way. And this is going to be the side that is the, I might make that the front because that is kind of pretty, as opposed to this being the front because it's kind of boring. Okay, so we're going to make this the back part. This is the back. So like I said, you don't have to go all the way down. You just kind of measure where it's at. And you cut it from here. Boom. Done. Now you have to glue this in. So that can be a tricky part. So let me just get the edges. Which way did it go? This way? Yeah, I guess it did. Okay. Oops. Wrong tool. Wrong tool. Where did I put my corner thing? Here it is, back in its home. I've trained myself well. I tend to try and put things back in their homes as I'm using them, because then when I lose them, I just hopefully look at their home first to see if they're around. Oh, that's a little bit not wide enough. Okay, no worries. We'll do this, and then we'll just round it once we get it glued in. So for this, just going to glue. This one's easy because you're going to glue it all the way up. The other one you're not going to do that with, so I like it when I get big hunks of glue because then I know it's going to be glued in there forever. Got little specks of some of the corners that I cut off. Okay, here we go. This is the tricky part. So you want to kind of arc it so that it's not touching, as you can see. So you're kind of making a little air bubble almost until it's glued, and then you can smush it down. Get your bone thingy out. Now it's not quite covering it all, but that's okay. No worries at all. And then you just follow the line to round these edges. Look at the back to see if there's any trimming that needs to be done. If you see white, then you need to trim. Perfect. That one's done. So now this one, because it's going to be the flap, we actually want to, got to cut this off a little bit. We actually need to fold this down a little bit. Let me just think here. Okay, so we're going to put this in here like this. Come on. Oh, are you a little too wide? All right. Is this side better for you? Do you like this side better? Yes. Yes, you do. Okay. There we go. Fold this up. Fold this down. Fold this up. Easy peasy. So that's what you can do with a single-sided piece of paper, is that you'll have to fold it up and create a flap. Now, if you have just like a double-sided, oh, this isn't double-sided. I thought it was. The book that it came out of is double-sided, so that's why I thought it was double-sided. Oh, here's one. Okay, so like this piece of paper, for instance. If we made this the inside, there's also this on the outside. So if I folded this over as a flap, it wouldn't make a difference, and this part would be the inside part, but that part would be the flat part. So I think you get what I'm saying. But with the single-sided stuff, you're going to have to create a bit of a flap, which is totally fine. We can do that. Easy peasy. Now, what you're going to want to do is, this is the opportunity that you're going to take to create those corners again. So just going to, I hope I'm staying in frame. I'm not used to being able to see myself. Normally, when I was doing it on my phone, I had to always stand up and check the phone. So I know my hands are going out of shot every once in a while. There we go. Much better. Much better. Okay. There. Nice and round. This is like a great toy. I love this. I mean, I was pretty good at, like, as much as I can't cut straight lines, I do cut circles fairly well, but it does take more time. This is so much faster, and this is like boom, 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 done, right? So it just saves you a lot of time if you want to do it that way. So we've got the end here. So we're going to now glue this down. So we're going to glue these two together, obviously, so that we create our flap. So I usually do that first. And yes, I like to glue things so that they're there forever. I also wrap my presents the same way. The kids always complained at Christmas because I over tape things, but I want to make sure it stays closed. So it does give them a challenge every Christmas morning to open their presents. And I can't help myself. I don't care who it's for. Even for my beautiful granddaughters, I will over tape their presents. because that's who I am and that's what I do. So now we're going to glue this part, and we'll be putting this on the inside flap, or in the inside big pocket right here. So there we go. So you create a little bit of a cup, and you want this a little bit cupped as well so that it doesn't get stuck. So this is the hardest part of this. Okay, and then we just keep pushing, push, 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 right to the end. There's the end. You match them up. There we go. We're in. Ta-da! Ta-da! Just making sure it's well glued down. And like I said, it does help to reinforce these parts because they're going to get the most use, of course, too, right? So we've got that taken care of. And let's do some pockets on the inside. What am I going to use for the pockets on the inside? Well, let's get that music book wherever it went to. We can make some music ones. Here we go. Okay, some music sheets. Here's the sheets. And I just find these at the thrift store super easy. And we'll cut these out. I'm going to get the bottom off because no one wants to see that. It's the pretty music part that we want to see. So then we measure, well, I'll cut these sides off as well. Now you can also tear these if you want to. It just, I'm got my scissors, so I'm like, okay, I'll use my scissors. A lot of times I'll tear them because it just kind of gives it a nice sort of rustic sort of look. So figure out where your middle ground is. So we're going to do this full section here, and basically we're going to cut it in half once I cut out that section. And as you can see, I couldn't cut a straight line there. That's okay. We're cutting off just as I went crooked, so that it kind of works out. Okay, so this side will be here, and it goes to about the things. So right at the things, went a little over. That's okay. Is it straight? No, of course not. Why would it be straight? There we go. That's a little bit better. And now just to measure this and make sure. Yep. Okay, that fits. Now let's just straighten it out a little bit. Going to shorten it a little bit too. There we go. Okay, so easy peasy. Now, before we start gluing these down and everything, we want to take our hole punch, and this is where you can make those half circles. So it helps to mark where the pockets are going to be, because this is a very busy page and it's sort of hard to see where the pockets, I mean, they are hidden pockets, but hopefully once you're, up close to it, you can see that there's pockets there. It's quite clear once you're in person with it there. And then we're going to glue down these. Now, before we glue them down though, we want to age them because they're a little too pristine right now. So that they match. Whoops. So again, these things are great. You can get things like this on Amazon. I've only ever found these in Dollar Tree, so I'd say go take a look. They're $1.50 a piece, and they last for a good long time. You don't need a new one every time you're doing this. Like this will last me easily a week, sometimes longer, depending on how much I'm doing. So I'm just aging up the edges here a little bit. And again, if I've gone out of frame or if you can't quite see what I'm doing, thank you for your patience. Hopefully you can pick up what I'm doing. So I did do the center part a little bit here. Now I'll probably put some quotes on because I've already picked out some quotes, some poetry out of, I've got this big book of English verse from, like Lord Byron and Milton and, all the big names, right? And it's all like romantic, gothic kind of poetry. So every once in a while, I'll take a piece of it and I'll use it as a quote thing in my junk journals. So it's handy because I probably will never run out of poetry to pick from because it's quite a large book. Okay, so I've got these guys over here. So these are some of the quotes that I've got that I've ripped out. So I could put this on top of here, and I have ripped them out so that they will sit nicely on top if I want. I might tear this down a little bit more because it's a little bit long. I don't want all the music covered. And it says, one shade the more, one ray the less, had half impaired the nameless grace which waves in every raven's tress, or softly lightens o'er her face, where thoughts serenely sweet express, how pure, how dear their dwelling place. Yes, I don't think people speak like that anymore, but isn't it romantic? Okay, and then we're going to age these up. Now, because I'm getting this out of a book and I'm getting it out of an older book, the quality of paper is really nice. Like they worked with different kinds of paper back in the day. And it's a little bit thicker, and it's already got a bit of an age to it, so I don't have to do a lot of aging to it, which is kind of fun. And then she walks in beauty like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies, and all that's best of dark and bright meet in her aspect and her eyes, thus mellowed to that tender light which heaven to gaudy days denies. So you can write yourself little, or you can, put it in a friend's junk journal if you're making a junk journal for them, and it's sort of like little love notes to them, and nice romantic poetry. So we'll age this up and we'll include that on there. And then I've got some other ones. These are bigger ones, so I'm thinking maybe, I ended up doing that on the front. And I wanted this as the front. Whoops. Oh, well, that's okay. It's because it was meant to have beautiful poetry on the front. That's why. There you go. And on that cheek and o'er that brow, so soft, so calm, so eloquent, the smiles that win, the tints that glow, but tell of days in goodness spent, a mind at peace with all below, a heart whose love is innocent. And again, I'll tear this down just a little bit. And I might actually back this with something because I'm like, this needs a little more color to it. So I'm going to do this, embellish it a little bit. And that's the thing. I find junk journaling, you kind of have to be ready to go with the flow. Whoops, there goes a nail. Junk journaling is not nail friendly, that's for sure. I can put that back on, no problem. So, what if I were to do this and just pop it a little? And I might add a butterfly. Butterflies always are the answer. Always the answer. It needs something more. Put a butterfly on it. Or that or a button. It seems buttons and butterflies are always the answer. So age this up. Don't have to do the center part, partly because it's already aged, but partly because it's going to be mostly covered. Can you see what I'm doing? I hope you can. I keep pulling away to myself. I'm not used to having to do it out here. Might figure out how to rig up my camera so I'm a little more right where you guys are. Or that, or get used to working more with my arms outstretched a little bit more. I'm actually looking at myself here, so I keep forgetting to check and see whether I'm in focus or not. There we go. Okay, so let's see what we can find here. Ooh, you know what might be really cool? A little bit of lace. Some lace. So what I do when I take the lace is I tend to stretch it and pull it a little bit because it gives it an older look. Now I have tried putting this to this. Don't do that because it just blotches it. So what you want to do is this, take this, and it still has lots of ink on it, and just kind of rub it on there. So then you get a smoother aging that happens. Because at first I was like, I don't know if I could do that, but I did. So, because when I first put it on the ink blotter thing, it was like, oh yeah, now it's like just polka dotted brown. So that helps to age that up. And I'm just going to put this under here like this. A little bit of lace. Yeah, now we're talking. Now we're talking. And it's going to catch the eye of whoever's got this. I still might do the butterfly, but for right now I'm going to set it as it is. So glue this up. Push it out so I'm more centered for you guys. So you can actually see what I'm doing. Hidden pockets and hidden how they're done as well. The rate that I'm doing them. Now I do have fabric glue that I use, and I do tend to use this on the lace parts because I like to make sure it's going to stay. Okay, so there we go. So fabric glue is great, and it's real seamstress glue, and this glue will help hold that on too as well. So it's just an added little extra. So then I'm going to add this now. And the thing with fabric glue is it will keep sticking. It doesn't stop sticking. The only time it stops sticking is when you wash whatever you've put it on, whatever fabric you've put it on. So it's great for seamstresses to sort of temporarily hold something if they want to sew it up. But since we generally don't wash our junk journals, we don't have to worry about it becoming loose or anything like that. There. So that's the front embellished. I embellished this one. Fun. I hadn't done that with the other ones yet. So, or at all. I wasn't thinking about that. But just this front was boring to me. So I was like, yeah, it's going to need something more. So now, put the fabric glue over here. Now we're going to glue these pockets on the inside. And because they're smaller, I'm going to take my glue pen because it won't necessarily like veer over too much. Put this here, and look, I have straight lines right here to help guide me, which is fantastic. So it's nice for these small little things. Oh, I forgot to do the corners. Oops, I knew there was some. You can do this right over glue. Probably not the best thing, but oh no, I lied to you. You can't do that over glue. Okay, not this one anyways. So we're just going to glue this one in, and it's going to be beautiful. And then we are going to corner these guys. Oh, I think it's too small. Oh, okay. Should I do the smaller one? Smaller one, let's see which one it likes. Likes the bigger one, it seems. Yeah, it likes the bigger one. Okay, I talk to myself a lot too while I'm junk journaling, so bear with me. There we go. Put it back home, and then I'll just have to redo these corners a little bit, which is fine. Easy peasy. Takes 2 seconds, because really there's still a lot of brown and age there, but you know, just to make sure. So this one's going to be rounded and this one's going to be square, and that'll be fine. Yeah, junk journaling teaches you to be inspired and to go with the flow as well, and to, you know, enjoy the mistakes as well as the triumphs. There we go. So there's our 2 little pockets there. And then, like I said, we're going to put our quotes right on top. So some of you might be thinking, well, you could embellish that too. Yes, I could. Absolutely. I mean, and if you're doing your thing, you could definitely embellish it. However, word of warning, once this dries, you are going to be putting cards and tags and things like that in there. So it's going to get really bulky really fast if you also have embellishments on here. Oops. Oh my goodness. I actually watched someone, her channel's Shabby Dabby Doodah, and like everyone laughs when I say the name because it's hilarious, but she's constantly doing things that, you know, she's done it backwards or she's, you know, done it upside down or whatever. And it's like, I laugh every time it happens, and now I'm laughing because it's happening to me. Because like while I'm watching her, I'll be like, you're doing that backwards, you're doing that the wrong way. It's like, and look at me doing it the wrong way. So here, there's the 4 pockets like that. Now's the time for what the brad and the fastener. Okay, I'm just going to put this away. There we go. Back in its home. Okay, so do you want blue to match this blue, or do you want to go brown? I'm liking the brown. So, you know, I love distressed, aged things. So I try to get in the habit of aging things almost right away, because there's nothing worse than gluing something down and realizing you hadn't aged it yet. So I'm going to age this part as well now that everything's sort of in place, because we're on the last step of this craft along. And like I said, you can watch it once and just craft along with me, or see how I'm doing things. The ager also helps to forgive any little mistakes there were. There's a little bit of white showing, so we're just going to age that up. It's all good. Because you're not necessarily going to be gluing this down. You can, but it is a lot more fun when it's just on its own and someone pulls it out and goes, oh, what's this? And opens it up, and there's all these pockets and tickets, and it's like a nice little package, sort of a parcel kind of thing. So yeah, I watch Shabby Dabby Doodah a lot, so I do a lot of my craft alongs are going to be inspired by her, but I also watch treasure books, Craft with Me, what else? There's another girl that I watch. She does a lot of art journaling, Shakuri art or something like that. I can never remember how to pronounce it. So anyways, those are some of the top ones I watch. And I think it's 49 Dragonflies or something like that I also watch a fair amount. So I'm going to bend this back, and I'm going to age it here as well. Now, because this is shiny paper, it doesn't always take the aging quite as well. So you might have to coax it a little bit. There, it's taking it though. Nice. So yeah, the way to edge these sort of weird angles is, again, cup it, make it into a little cup. Now, another way I've seen too is, let me see if I got a spare piece of paper here, is you can slip something like this in and then age it this way. But I find that you tend to get a wider aging thing, whereas if you just cup it and you're gentle and you're patient, good exercise in patience, that you can do this. Because if you're going rough on it, you're going to tear the paper and break all the glue that you just put down and all that kind of stuff. But the paper trick that I just showed you too is great if you've forgotten to age something in between. So I'm going to fold this the wrong way and then age that angle as well. And then you can come up here a little bit. I think I've done that a little bit. And then you can come on the outside part now. And the corners, like where the folds and stuff, always take the distressing a lot better than like when you're going up the sides, it seems, because they already have like some wear and tear to them because they're a fold. So there you go. Like this paper, even though it's shiny, it's actually taking the aging quite well, making a liar out of me. That's okay. Working out in my favor, really. There we go. So now for the, where did my awl go? For the hole that we're going to create. So we're going to need a little fastener. And I have all different kinds here. Like I have different colors and different, gold and silver. I'm looking for bronze because I like the older look. So I'm going to do that for this one. I've got my little cardboard hole or holder. Did I put it home? Did I put it away on myself? Where did I put it? I had it out with all my tools. I was showing it to you and telling you how fabulous it is, and now it's just gone. Huh. Interesting. Where would it have got to? Did it fall? No, it doesn't look like it fell. So that's very strange. Usually he stands out because he's easy to find. Now he's just gone. Gone, gone, gone. Oh, there he is. He's hiding. Found him. He got tucked behind the glue. Okay, so what you want to do first is put your fastener in a very safe place because these things get lost even more easily than these things do. So bear that in mind. So you're going to take this circle and you're going to take the awl. Now you can use any pokey thing that you have. The awl is just a lot faster, a lot safer because you're not like pressing super hard and then stabbing yourself. However, because I'm holding my fingers at the back of this, do be careful of, oh, this is the one I aged. So there we go. This is one I had. So do be careful when you're pressing it through. Put your fingers like this so that when the awl does go through, it's not going into a finger because your fingers are going to be needed to support this. But again, just don't have your fingers right there. And there, easy peasy, it's through. Now, the more you push down on the awl, the bigger the hole will become, and you don't actually want that. It's okay when you're doing books, but for these fasteners, you don't want to do that. So now here's the sort of finicky part, the tricky part. There we go. It's through. And then these little tails here, should use the nail that doesn't have a nice nail on it anymore. Split open. There we go. And then usually I'll take my bone folder and just kind of press on them. There, it's in. Beautiful, right? Super easy. No actual skill needed. And then I'm going to use twine for this one. So you just wrap a bit of it around the brad. You get it under the cardboard. 1, 2. I usually like to do 3 wraps around for the first one. And then you just bring it around here. Snip this off. You bring it around this way. Or anyway, either way, it doesn't really matter. And there you go. Now it's closed. And it'll stay that way until you unwrap one of them. If you unwrap this one, it's the shorter one. If you unwrap this one, you have to go around a few times. So just depends on which one you grab. But it opens nice and easy. Just unwrap it. Open it, boom. So now you just have to fill it with your tags or journal cards or whatever else you might want to put in there for your journals. So that's it, boys and girls. Super easy. Don't know why this guy wants. Usually I let them lie flat for a little while. So that's why these guys are all sitting nice because they've been lying flat. So I'm just going to put these over here. And it'll be lying flat. I opened this one up, so I have to rewind this one. There we go. All right. thank you for being here. Thank you for being with my first craft along with the new camera. And hopefully it was successful and that you could see everything. Thanks so much for being here. If you'd like to see more of these videos, please let me know in the comments. And please subscribe if you haven't already, and ring the little fairy bell so you know when new videos are going up. And like I said, every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have our Mystic Mondays. If you'd like to join us for that, that is our live broadcast. And I'm going to try and start putting out videos Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So look for them, all kinds of different ones. Let me know which ones you're most interested in. Toodles!